What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. We are back from SHOT Show. That was a tiring week, but I hope you guys like the videos. I tried to stop at a bunch of different places, get some good info for you guys, and that leads us into today's video with the coolest thing that I saw at SHOT Show, so let's get into it. Now bear with me here, this video is a little bit different. We aren't going to be looking at a product or talking to anybody or even checking out a new gun. So a little backstory. In the afternoon one day, we've been walking around all day checking out stuff, and we were headed back to the bridge that goes between the convention halls that takes us back to our hotel. And we saw a crowd kind of forming at one booth. So we kind of stopped, looked around for a minute. It was at the Safariland booth. Safariland, as you guys know, makes duty equipment, holsters, ballistic shields, ballistic body armor, all sorts of stuff. A lot of their products are geared towards law enforcement and military tactical type of stuff. And so we just stopped there. I wanted to see what was going on. If you guys didn't know, it was me and my son went to SHOT Show. He was kind of filming for me and stuff. So we just stopped and kind of took a break to see what was going on. I told him to start filming, so we kind of set up the camera, started filming. I hope I don't butcher this. The footage isn't the best. We didn't have the camera set up perfectly. We just kind of had it extended. Some of it's a little wobbly, so the camera moves a little here and there. The audio is not the best, but I felt like this was the coolest thing that I saw at SHOT Show. Safariland has what they call a saves club, which is people that use their products, and their products help save their life in the line of duty. So in this video, you're going to see a few different instances of police officers. They're going to walk you through firsthand, them telling the story and showing body cam footage and stuff like that of the instances that they were in and how the Safariland products saved their lives. And the reason I'm doing this is because while we were standing there, this kind of hit me a little bit and made me appreciate these guys even more. Some of the audio isn't the best. Some of the footage isn't the best because we're kind of standing off the side. But I hope you guys like this. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm just gonna let this roll. And last thing I'll say is a huge thank you to law enforcement officers and those people that put their lives on the line for us every single day to keep us safe, keep my family safe, keep your family safe. Politics aside, these guys go out there every single day and put their lives on the line and risk their family's livelihood to protect us.
I'm Ed Hitchens for Safariland. I am the Senior Arms Technical Specialist, and I have the best job in the company. So I tell everybody, I get to meet heroes on a weekly basis. The work that we do with our supply partners that brings all the materials together for our design teams to go ahead and build the armor, get it out there, and build the holsters, get it out there to the end users, and bring heroes home is really the best part about what we get to do with Safariland. We had 52 saves in 2024. My simple public school math tells me that's a save a week. That's a really big deal. When you think of the word save, that means we've got a hero that came home to his family, his agency, and his community, instead of his name being engraved on a wall in Judiciary Square in Washington, D.C. So it's a huge, monumental event, and most of these guys are way too modest. And I already warned them all that we're not going to let that stay all day. And if they're way too modest up there, I'm going to throw them under the bus a little bit. So we're going to start off in Boise, Idaho. Sir, the stage is yours. Thank you, Evan. That's good. That's command voice right there.
My name is Joe Andrioli. I'm Boise Police Department. About 23 years law enforcement. I've been on our Special Operations Unit for about 18 years now.
I'm Detective Son, Charles Sonzak, law enforcement. If I don't pass out here. I've been in law enforcement about 18 years. Started my career in the Riverside Sheriff's Department in California. Been with Boise about 10 years now. I've been an operator for 5.5 years.
So we'll kind of set the stage for you guys a little bit with our incident. Starts out a fairly sad story on April 20th of 2024. One of our neighboring agencies, Deputy Tobin Bolter, initiated a traffic stop in the city of Boise. As he was approaching the vehicle, he was ambushed by the driver of that vehicle, and Deputy Bolter is no longer with us. So if I could just get a quick moment of silence for Deputy Tobin Bolter from Ada County Sheriff's Office. Thank you. So that obviously sparked quite a manhunt for an unknown suspect at that time. I was at home putting my kids to bed, and the modern day pager cell phone went off saying that our team was needed to locate and apprehend wanted armed subject. So that's kind of how the story begins. And we'll play a portion of the video. I'll kind of pause it along the way and kind of update you guys as to what you're looking at and what you're about to see. If we can pause it right there for just a moment. So those of you who can see the screen, I'll just kind of explain what we have here. As our patrol officers began looking for the suspects, one very heads-up patrol officer located the vehicle. Window was blown out from the gunfire, and they formulated a team, cleared that vehicle, and ultimately immediately put drones in the air. Within minutes, they had found a hotspot in this location. This white building here is a fourplex apartment complex, and it was divided by a fence. So the drone operators were finding a hotspot right there that later turned out to be the suspects who had killed Deputy Bolter. So the SWAT team was called, our Special Operations Unit, and we all convened knowing what we were looking for. We deployed a team on foot around to the north side of the building. They were our containment over there. We had Ada County SWAT team that pulled up along the west side to keep containment. We had containment on the east, and then mine and Josh's team took the Bearcat around and up Jackson Street, and we stopped about 30 to 40 yards from his location. So at this location, we're tucked in behind a Bearcat. We're utilizing the LRAD to communicate with the suspect, trying to get him to peacefully surrender. And this went on for a good hour, hour and a half. Obviously, tensions are high, and we're using drones at the time to go in and gather more intel. So we'll play a little more of the video and let you guys kind of see the drone footage. There's the suspect. Obviously, he's to his right is where we would be coming from. As the drones getting eyes on him, you can see he's still just laying in waiting for officers to come around that corner. So huge props to our drone operators and the drones program that we have. Ultimately, he starts pointing the gun at the drone, commands to our drone operator to back the drone away because we didn't want any errant rounds going into the apartment complex or the neighborhood. Eventually, a shot was fired. The drone went back in there. He was still alive. He was taking a shot at the drone. So after that round rang out, that team on the north side was doing their best to try to evacuate some of the occupants inside the apartment complex. This is part of the city where we don't get met with a whole lot of cooperation, so we're having a difficult time evacuating people. Eventually, we think due to the gunshot that rang out in their backyard, we did have an innocent exit their back patio and begin walking toward the suspect. In later drone footage, we found that they had come within about 5 feet of each other. They were both looking at the drone, not knowing that each other was there. So I gave an order to the drone operator to fly that drone directly at that innocent and push him back inside his apartment, which was surprisingly successful. Chased the innocent back inside his apartment, but it also gained the attention of the suspect. Drove our drone back to change battery, and at that time we got information from our command post from the overhead drone that suspect was now up and making his way to the apartment. So that obviously sparked our team. Josh and myself ended up moving up on the left side of the Bearcat. I will say there's several dog wings throughout this thing. When Josh arrived on scene in the Bearcat, to get out of the Bearcat, he had to move our ballistic shield. He just so happened to place that ballistic shield at my feet, so it was a no-brainer to grab that thing. We move up along the left side, the team moves up along the right side, and we go on a hunt for the suspect, trying to keep him from endangering the innocents. So we'll watch that now.
move, let's move, let's move.
I got steel, I got steel.
I got it, I got it, I got it.
Slide. Go, go, go.
Is he inside?
Ask TOC.
Is he inside?
Okay, check left, check left.
I got left.
He's left, he's good. Where we going? Right of the tree, right of the tree. We got LTL up.
Less lethal?
LTL up. No, listen. Yeah.
Shots fired, check yourself, check yourself. Get on the ground, get on the ground.
Show me your hands,
Stay.
Hold,
Hey, get over here. Get behind that shield. Shield, give him a shield. Get behind.
Everybody calm down.
Shield.
Calm down. Suspect is down.
Suspect's down, we got good coverage.
So as we're moving up to the suspect, the environment is extremely dark.
Pause for a second, friends.
The environment's extremely dark. We're using weapon mounted lights to try to search for the suspect. Joe is in the center. We have 3 people up front of the line doing cross coverage tactics, trying to clear into each section of that. The backyards of that apartment complex. We still don't know where he's at. We're trying to get updates from dispatch and TOC. It's hard to hear dogs barking, lots of commotion. So we still don't know exactly where he's at. Still think he's trying to get into the apartment. Obviously, for the still shot here, you can see that he's lying in wait for us at the very end backyard, very end section of this backyard. You can see that he's lying in wait. He peers around this fence. He takes one shot towards the shield. I'm guessing that's what he sees as we're approaching. I happen to be a left-handed rifle shooter. I'm on the left side of the stack. I see him basically at the same time that he sees us. And I fire 6 rounds, striking him twice. And he's immediately down. The threat is now eliminated at that point.
So it's just kind of blow up the image of him taking that first round. And I'm obviously behind the shield. Josh is secreted behind the shield as best he can. The shooter on the right is secreted behind the shield as best he can. Go ahead and pause, Travis. So the situation stayed pretty dynamic for a little while after this. Suspect's down. We get the drone to come in and find out where that gun's at. He's far enough away that we can move up, take him into custody, start providing medical care with our tactical medics. We still had to cover the apartment complex because there were some hostiles that weren't super friendly with us. So it was about 20-25 minutes later. And I knew that there was gunfire from both sides. Josh is extremely humble, but he's also one of our best and fastest shooters, which thank God he was on the left side of the shield because he put in some amazing work that day. But it was about 20-25 minutes later, we actually got to holster our weapons, and I went, man, I wonder if my shield took any rounds. We had already done the body scans, checked ourselves, everything else, and there's a portion of the video that's not played that I kind of had this aha moment. I'm like, I holster my gun, I turn the shield over, and I go, yeah, my shield took a round. And that's when it kind of dawned on me that that guy meant that bullet for one of us. So, I mean, I'm super honored to be here. I'm super honored to get to meet the men and women that go behind this product. Ed has very rapidly become like part of my family. It's very evident that this company, Safariland, is family. So I just wanted to say a thank you. And I don't think that everybody quite understands. So again, I mentioned I've been on the SWAT team for 18 years. And the man who took a chance on me, Greg Oster, right there back in 2007. He's here, so I appreciate him and appreciate the trust he had in me. But as an 18-year operator and as a team leader, and I fancy myself as a tactician, I can tell you from the moment that I heard that that guy was up and going toward innocence, to the time I turned that corner to the left, you would think I was probably thinking like tactics and all these wonderful things. No, I was thinking about my 2 boys at home. I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. My beautiful wife right here. So once I turned the corner, I started thinking tactics again, but going up there was all about my boys, how I wanted to see them again. And so I thank all of you who had a hand in building this product and putting it in our hands that allowed me to go home and see my boys and my wife again. So can't thank you guys enough, and can't thank you enough, and Josh, I can't thank you enough. So.
I just want to say thank you, Ed, your team, Mark. You guys are amazing. Thank you for making such a great product. I will be forever grateful for Safariland for what they've done for us. Joe, thank you. Company Deputy Bolter.
Get a little taste of what resonates with these guys who have to go home, their families suit up, and they go right back out to continue protecting their communities. They know what they're leaving behind, and they know what they're putting on the line. And I mean, it's on their sleeves right in front of me right now.
So I think Deputy Bolter, his sacrifice. His sacrifice is what makes our community safe. So I want to thank him and his family. Thank my beautiful wife, thank my 2 boys. And thank God, most of all, he's the one that brought us home safe and protection. So thank you guys.
All right, folks, we're not done. We've been in Boise for the last couple of minutes, and we've seen some incredible things. We're going to move down to Houston. Sergeant Mauricio Valle. And again, I have warned the great sergeant here, please do not be humble. You're about to see some really incredible testament to the Houston Police Department selection process, that they choose officers that bring heart to the game, their training, their choice of equipment, everything else, all tied into about 2.5 minutes. Sergeant, it's your stage.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you everyone for having us here. Very grateful for this. You might want to keep it from random, so do you want to play the video first and then I'll go and break it down and explain?
That sounds great.
So we'll let the video play first and then I'll go into some context.
Guys, I got shot. Guys, I got shot. Guys, I got shot. Come over here, I got shot. Put me a tourniquet. Put me a tourniquet. Tourniquet me up. He ran that way south. He ran that way south. Tourniquet me up. Hey, tourniquet me up. Tourniquet me.
Give me
Davis. Davis, tourniquet me.
Where'd you get hit?
Both arms and legs. Get my legs. Tourniquet me.
Was it him?
Yes, tourniquet me. Hey,
Hey, go back to
tourniquet
the
me.
Diamond,
guys.
Diamond Hotel. Hispanic
Guys, tourniquet
male,
me.
black hoodie, tan
Let's
pants,
go.
Hispanic male.
Tourniquet both my legs.
I got you.
Get up high. Get up high.
All right, so a little bit of context. I think I ahead of myself. I'll introduce myself. Sergeant Mauricio with the Houston Police Department. I've been on now 18 years. At the time, I was on 17 years. A little bit of background. I worked in the Southeast area. I was on the tactical expedition. For the narcotics division, I was there 8 years. So this is my undercover work there. Ran a lot of search warrants, a lot of training, everything that goes into that. There's a lot to it. After that, about 15 years on, I promoted. Once I promoted, I went back to patrols. I would start. We got to start from the ground up again. While I was on patrol, the Midwest area, which is here, they were initiating attack unit. They weren't attacking them at night. They were getting hit with a lot of violent crime, felony crime. Some of these crews they wanted to address. They had an attack unit during the day, not at night. I was asked if I would start one and take one over. So, and I'll tell you why I say that. So, I put in for the unit. I was fortunate enough to be selected. I selected my guys, selected my team, trained them up all, nothing against patrol, but I'm just giving an idea. Patrol is where everybody starts. It's the foundation for what we do. Got patrol guys, got them trained up, and then we start running the gun. One of the things we do is we address different, everything from low-level crime to violent crime, robbery crews. So we're kind of like hey man, there's a problem, just give it the tackle, figure it out. That's kind of what we do. So this particular incident, that night, our shift started December 1st. It led into December 2nd. One of my guys had a lead on some burglaries. We're having a rash of burglaries, getting broken into. These businesses were getting hit at night. We had that along with some assault. Aggravated assault where somebody was shot. Did some digging. Some resources. We ended up finding out a possible vehicle that was related to the burglaries. We ended up putting it in a system that was nationwide now, a flock system. We had a partial plate. We decided to look into it, just do some surveillance. We didn't have a definite set deal, but again, always be ready. We went out there to strictly do surveillance. We didn't have a takedown, do anything as specific stuff we're going to take down, just do surveillance to see where that leads us. So this night, the car hits on the flock. One of my guys goes inside and finds it. We're out there, we converge. We go out there, we converge on the guy, we start doing rolling surveillance. That's why I'm in plainclothes there. We're a hybrid unit. We do uniform, we do plainclothes stuff. So when that happens, we start doing the rolling surveillance. We spot them, we see them go, we see the vehicle going behind the businesses. We're not sure, but I mean, that's at 1 in the morning where businesses are closed. I mean, that's a clue. So the guy, we continue following him. He goes to the motel. He gets off on foot. He goes back to one of the businesses that he drove behind. At that point, as you see in the video, if you could pull the video up, and then I'll tell you when to stop it. So we stop it here. So right before here, this is Savoy Street, runs north and south. He was following along this back. It's like a grassy area. He was coming back here behind the businesses. I go north. I lose sight of him behind that. I go all the way. I tell my guys, hey, I start coming over the plan. Let's take some different angles at these loading docks to see if we can spot them. We're sitting up at the outside. We can't see them. I tell them, hey, I'm going to drive through. Right before that, one of my other guys who was two-man, the ones that put the tourniquets on me, they were going to drive through, and I actually told them, no, hold on, go to the next one. I'll take this one. I take this one as I'm coming down, and the video looks really well lit. But what's happening is I'm dealing with a lot of issues here. I have tinted windows. I have the light on the buildings. It's facing the vehicle, and that's why. If you're wondering how he was so close and I couldn't see, that's why I couldn't see out. As I looked out, all I had was light on my windshield. At that time, I told my guys, hey, I don't see him. I'm going to go ahead and start backing out. My plan was to set up and see if we can see him and work it back from there. The business got broken into. So I pull in, and this is about the time I said, you know what, I don't see him, let me get outside and see what's safe. I was gonna go set back up on outside before. So you play here. I stop it. So here, as he comes up, I don't see him. I immediately, and this, I'm scanning, I immediately start getting hit. I start getting hit in my right arm. I get hit first up here in my bicep, then in my tricep. I get through here. I got a through and through here. Then I get hit in my own shattered. I've got two titanium plates here. So I get hit through. So he's shooting. I'm still taking rounds. Still taking rounds. Still taking rounds. I got hit a total of 11 times. Stop it. So as that's happening, I'm getting hit, and I'm taking rounds first here. Then I'm trying to get out of the seatbelt, and I had my well, you see the video where a cloth was actually my cover shirt. I was covering my vest to make sure nobody could see it. And when I'm sitting in there, I'll take the rounds here. I actually tried to put the vehicle in reverse. I was actually trying to get out. When I went to put the vehicle in reverse, I hit it forward, and I put it in park when I was getting hit. And every time I got hit, my OODA got reset, and I just couldn't even press the lever. I was clicking it, and it was just clicking. I'm like, man, this is bad. This is really bad. I'm sitting there clicking and nothing. So then I go, let me get into my seatbelt, and I started cramping up. I couldn't get to it. So I reach over with this arm. As I reach over here, I get hit on my left arm. So I get hit here, I get it through here. So now my arm goes back this way, and I'm sitting there with my arms open, and I'm trying to, again, reach for the door. I end up pushing the door open. I'm trying to get into the seatbelt again. And then he keeps unloading. Hits me in the legs. I get hit here, through and through. I get hit here, through and through. And I get hit here, through and through. And so now I'm like, all right, I think at this point, I'm thinking I'm done. But I'm still in it. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to quit. So once that happens, as you see, he stopped. Once he stopped, the reality of the guy, if he was trying to finish me off, he kind of screwed up. He gave me that chance. And that's all I needed, man. Those 2 seconds, man, to keep going, get my little reset, and get back in the game. Once I hit that seatbelt button, I swam out like I'm trained. We train it all the time, but when you're shot and you do all this training and you're shot, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit harder, I'll tell you that. And so I swam out, and I get out, and as soon as I get out, you don't see it here, but it's kind of hard to tell, but I hit him right in the front. I come out sideways from the hit. I started hitting him. I hit him in the groin, the stomach, and then I tended him in the chest and up in the shoulder. By that point, he starts running. I come up two-handed, and I start trailing him and unloading on him. He still had the gun on him in his pocket. After that, as soon as that happens, I start falling out in the direction of travel, what he was wearing, and the direction of travel he was wearing. I was telling the guys to come over and give me some tourniquets. And so he laid forward.
I got shot.
So that's the cover shirt I had over my vest to be able to conceal me. He goes down. He actually hits up and runs over. He collapses behind the building.
Guys, I got shot. Guys, I got shot. Come over here, I got shot.
So they're putting the tourniquets on me, and we all got tourniquets. I had one on me. My guys had one on me. But the problem is I needed 4. So you carry one, maybe carry an extra. That might, so because they had them, they put them on me, and next thing you know, they're like, we need more tourniquets. Well, I rolled over. I had one that used mine, put it on my arm. I started telling them to put it on me, but I was noticing that my guys, again, they were pretty new at the time, nothing against them. It's probably one of the first tourniquets they've been in. I've been in a few, unfortunately. It's the first time I've been hit. Once I'm in this situation, I'm controlling my breathing. I knew it was a bad deal. I'm trying to keep my heart rate down. I'm trying to direct my guys to, hey, get the tourniquet up a little higher. You had it a little bit low because I knew where I was hitting. I thought I was in the femoral and brachial artery. But luckily I wasn't. The worst I had was fractured my ulna, muscle tissue damage on the inside, and I got some nerve damage here. I've got a lot better. Yeah, that's where we're at. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Tell you this. This is my vest here. So I've gotten hit here twice on this one, on the side, and if you want to go to the next one, and I got hit here in the front, and here. So you hit my body 7 times, 4 on the vest. And I can tell you this, good products like this. I'm grateful for the safariland, the entire team. I mean, I could sit here and name everybody. But, and I really didn't know that when Ed explained to me everything that goes into the material, putting it together, the pride that they take into it. I mean, it really shows. If it wasn't for these guys, their team, our purchaser who knows how to purchase good equipment, this is a testament. I don't know what else to tell you. If it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be here because I don't know how I would have survived those extra 4 rounds in my torso. So thank you. My wife, baby, love you, appreciate it. Thank you.
How many kids you got at home?
I still have 2 at home, 4 grown and left are grown, but I got 2 at home. So yeah.
Nice big family there.
Yeah. So
Go ahead, please.
oh, and if everybody's wondering, I've healed up pretty well. I went back to work 8 months later. So yeah, so I'm back in my team doing the same thing I've been doing, and I mean we've got a couple of suspects since then. Of course, I haven't had a shot, but that's pretty good.
All right, let's hear that. All right, I knew I had to give him a little nudge on the one there. We're going to talk about coming back to work the way he did. And he kind of glossed over it a little tiny bit. While the assailant was firing his first 3 rounds from the passenger side, one of those rounds went through his right forearm and shattered the bone. He's got plates, screws, and everything else in there. That's his gun hand. Training. Just like the guys from Boise drilled into me when I talked about their incident. Training care of the day, training care of the day, training care of the day. He was able to come up out of the holster, shoot from the hip, get solid rounds on target, then go 2 hands and continue good, solid, structured fire to end the threat. This is after being shot in every limb that he's got and the gun hand forearm being shattered into pieces. Those are the kind of heroes we get to serve on a regular basis. Alrighty. We've talked about armor in a big way today, but I am standing in a circle of holsters because retention is the name of the day. We talk about the guys that go out in the field and they're getting in those struggles. Some of those struggles are hand to hand and they are nasty. But when we talk about our Saves Club, I am so used to Tommy Campbell standing on my shoulder saying, talk to me about a duty gear save. Give me a little touch on a duty gear save. And Tommy wouldn't want one myself. Tommy, big, giant Tommy Campbell smile. He'd be like, let's get one up here. So to reach out to Blueberry Solution, we're going to bring Blake Cook up here to talk about training and what happens out in the field. Sir, it's your stage. Thank you so very much.
Well, what an honor it is to share the stage with those guys. Nice and tight. So what an honor it is to share the stage with them and his powerful stories. So my name is Blake Cook. I'm the law enforcement director of Blueberry Solutions. I'm the co-host of the Black and Blue podcast with my best friend Kyle Morgan. The reason why I'm here is I'm a medically retired law enforcement officer out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and where I spent 8 years there. I spent a year and a half on patrol, remaining in my career on our tactical team and our gang gun cartel unit. So when I was a young patrol officer, I was conducting just a routine traffic stop for expired tags. I was just trying to get as much being proactive as I possibly could. So I stopped just a routine stop, expired tags. I was like, all right, cool, this is going to be easy. I'll write this guy a warning ticket, and I'm going to bounce and go to Chipotle, give me something to eat. So I pulled the car over, I got out, started walking up to the vehicle. Gentleman opens up the driver's door, and that is never good. He turns around, he gets up, he's about 6'4", possibly 300 pounds. So if you're not familiar with Fayetteville, North Carolina, we get everybody else's homicide, robberies, and everybody else's people that have just violent warrants. Plus we had rain. So as he exited the vehicle, I told him, sir, please get back in the car. He immediately charged after me and speared me onto the hood of my vehicle. My back is on the hood of the vehicle. I try to wrap my legs around him to try to control him as best as I could. I have no training in jiu-jitsu, so I was just winging it. He picks me back up, slams me back on the hood of the car, and the back of my head hit the car, threw off my loop, so I immediately knew that I had to get out of this situation. I did a rookie move, I tried to roll out of it. When I rolled out of it, I landed on my stomach. He picked me back up, slammed me on my stomach on the hood of the car, and that is when I felt probably the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. I felt his hand on my gun, and I heard him trying to pull the gun out of a holster. Now, what he did do was he did disengage the ALS, which is the nub, and he didn't disengage the hood. So he thought that the nub was going to be able to disengage the whole system. So as I'm laying there, I feel him just pulling it out, and I'm like, man, this dude's way bigger than me. If he gets this out, he's going to smoke me. This is just supposed to be a routine stop. The only thing I could do was try to find the radio, push that little orange button. If you're not familiar with the orange button on a police radio, it pretty much sends everybody. It is, we need all hands on deck. It gives the location. So I'm sitting there, I'm holding his hand. I'm like, man, please God, please don't let this hood come off. If this comes off, this is gonna be bad. The whole time I'm laying there thinking about my wife, my son. Man, is this even really worth it? This is crazy. But at that exact moment, as I felt like he was trying to figure out this holster, one of my Zoom partners, BJ Bullard, I went to the academy with. I love this dude now, but in the academy, the dude was worthless. And he heard this on the Sean Ryan show, called me, and I was like, hey man, you were worthless, I'm sorry, but thank you for saving my life. So BJ comes off the hood, man, just elbows this guy, knocks him on the ground. He's laying on the ground. We ended up getting him in handcuffs. And I just remember thinking like, man, I've had training officers that tell me, hey, keep that hood down. Where's Ron at? SLS. See, I'm learning. Only taking me 10 years, but I'm learning. But he said, hey, I had a bunch of training officers said, hey, get that hood down so we can get the gun out faster. And I had some other people that were big mentors in my life that always told me, hey, just practice with it, practice with it, practice with it. It'll be just as fast. And I was able to practice with that and get thousands and thousands of reps just in my garage, and I've always kept it up, and I'm so grateful for that, because if that hood would have been down, SLS, if that would have been down, he would have got that gun out and would have taken my life. And yes, the holster saved my life. I'm forever grateful. They make great products. But most importantly, I give that glory to God that I'm still here. He helped create Safariland. He helped with the engineers to create these holsters. And these are not just holsters, these are life-saving pieces of equipment. Same with their vests, same with their shields, same with everything they create. I can't tell you how many law enforcement officers, their lives, they go home for their families just because of this product alone. And I will trust this product. I've been using this product for the last 10 years. And thank you guys for making such an awesome product. If I could, I would like to close this out with a prayer. If you're not religious, just take that time to get in your thoughts. Dear Heavenly Father God, thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be here. Thank you, God, for the gentlemen that were on the stage before me, Lord. It's getting pretty emotional thinking about it, God, and we know, Lord, that it is your reason why we are all still here, and it's your reason why they're able to go home to their families, God. Lord, we're just grateful. We love you. We give you all the glory that we can. Thank you, God, for Safariland. They are saving lives. Continue to be with us daily, Lord. So we give you all the honor, praise, and glory. Amen.
Thank you so much. Don't go over this. Right here. Well, let's get the other saves for representing the class of 2024 up here. We're going to start with this small group. Every other save in the audience, work your way behind the screen here because you're coming up here too. Every other save in the audience, work your way in back. Work your way in the back. Let's bring you guys up here. I cannot tell you how lucky we are. This was the representation of the 52 saves that we saved in 2024. Let's hear your hand for the class of 2024 save right here. All right, let's get all the other saves that are in the audience up here. Let's bring them up. Let's get Jared moving forward. Brandy, where you're at. Outstanding. We'll talk about the fact that we're going to fill this stage up. These are the folks who are still on the job, still out there fighting crime, still out there in the service side of our industry. This is a representation. We've got federal, we've got international. Let's try to slide over just a hair here. We're still working guys up there. I should still have one more working his way up. I don't know where Jim went. We may be missing one more here, but this is a representation of the Saves Club for Safariland. We say together we save lives. These guys represent years, actually decades, thank you, of saves and agencies that were returned to, but most importantly, families that were returned to because of the network of this audience bringing us the best materials in the world, allowing our groups to build it, the testing groups that are out there that make sure we do it right every single time, and the fact that we get to bring these heroes home. And I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but our two Boise Saves wives were up here in the front, and I was being very careful not to look at them so I didn't cry like a baby. And the very minute that we transferred to Houston, it was almost like a choreographed move. They circled back behind and side by side with our Houston Saves wife, making sure that she wasn't alone there. We talk about Saves Family, that is exactly what this is all about. Thank you for everything that you do, and I believe the bar is open. Let's hear it for these guys.